Welcome back. This is your host, Dr. Tilipo Mwefumbo. Today we continue with the science and philosophy of Village Bank. Um, so before we continue, we need to understand the definition or the terms that are in this course.
Village banking. So we have got two types of, or there are two words, which is the village and also there is a bank. So each one I think has got a different definition. When we talk about the village, we are talking about the where people are living together and they are staying in the same locality. So that is the simple definition of a village. And now, when we also define a bank, um, a banking is defined as a business activity of accepting and safeguarding money owned by individuals. So when we talk about bank, we are talking about an institution or an institution that is said to receive and save the money and also to be able to borrow the money. So that is a definition of bank. So banking is defined as a business activity of accepting and safeguarding money owned by individuals or entities. And we can also define bank as a financial institution where customers can save or borrow the money. So that is a simple definition of of bank. Now we are talking about now the definition now as the whole village bank or village banking. So this gives us uh, the picture that there is a group of people or there are people that lives together in a same locality as more like a village, and they are putting their money together for two reasons or for two purposes, as the bank has got two purposes: one, keeping the money, and also borrowing the money out. So when you talk about village banking, we are talking about such system which is done in a local setup by which the people in that location come together, um, save their money, put their money together, and also so that others may come and borrow, or the same people may be able to borrow. Um, so the according to there are a lot of definitions that are found on the internet, but I just want to summarize so that we don't bore ourselves with definitions that may not be applicable into our day-to-day lives. Village banks, these are groups of low-income entrepreneurs who come together to share and guarantee one another's loans. So the Village Bank, it's a group of low-income entrepreneurs. I think by this time we understand who is an entrepreneur, and we understand also what a cooperative is. So when we put those things together, I think in this course it is going to give us now the full picture. So we have got the cooperatives, we have got the entrepreneurs, and also we have got now the transactions that are happening, and that those transactions they happen through a medium, and which is maybe the bank or any medium that may be used. So when we talk about this uh, these entrepreneurs who come together, who are low income entrepreneurs. It's a local setup whereby people come together and they put their money together so that they may be able to help each other. So it includes the neighbors come together, or the groups of individuals. They working on creating the capital. This is called also, it can be a micro enterprise. So when we talk about Village Bank, what is meant by that, we also find that Village Banking is microcredit methodology Village banking is a microcredit methodology whereby financial services are administered locally rather than centralized in a formal bank. So in the village bank setting, that is when the money is used within the community, and the people who are within the community, they are able to borrow each other. They are able to put the central money whereby they can have access at the time that they need that money. So the a village bank is an informal self-help support group. So that is also, it is an informal self-help group. This mostly, like from the history and from what the village banks started, we'll discover that these village banks were started by women, and that's why they are predominantly by women. So women, they have been doing this kind of banking from history up to in present time. So they do put their money together. We are going to look at the types like the Chilimba. They'll put the money together, and they'll be able to borrow each other. So there were a lot of methods that they were using. Sometimes the women were coming together, then put their money together for a certain purpose, and they were also putting their money for maybe in the eventuality when the child is sick or when there is a funeral. So they have been actively involved and as pioneers of village banking. And when we are talking about village banking, we are also looking at savings and credit unions, which means we want to look at the wider perspective, whereby we want to cultivate and to look at all the setups that we are put when it comes to money and the keeping of money and the utilization of money within the community and within the compound. So that is what village banks are. So it's a setup of local communities bringing their resources together with the purpose of keeping that money so that they may be able to borrow each other, or they may be able to use that particular money for a certain event or for a certain purpose. Yes, if you want to know where you are, it is very much important to know where you're coming from. And also, it is important to know where you are going. So, history is the study of the past, present, and future. So, understanding the history of the banks, it is going to help us give us a picture and know why banks exist. And also, it is going to help us to know how we can be able to utilize this knowledge into a reliable and workable methods. Because without understanding history, you may not be able or you'll be able to make the same mistake that the people in the past made. So we learn history so that we may be able to know and understand the past mistakes, the past success, and also we may be able to know why we are where we are, and also to plan where we should go. The history of banks. There are a lot of myths and there are a lot of stories about how the bank started. The bank philosophy started in the Greek time, some time before AD. In the BCs, that's when the banks started. Remember, in those days, they were not having there were no money like we have as physical money or the cash that we transact. In those days, they were using silver, gold, and minerals for the value of something. So now, it became very difficult for people to exchange those materials because they were in large scales. And also, when it came to transactions of products, you can remember about the barter system, how people used to transact. Now, there were these people that were involved in uh, or blacksmith. Now, it was those blacksmith, those people that were dealing in metal, are the ones now who started keeping the metal. Now, in exchange to whatever that they are having, the metal that they have gotten or someone has kept. So they used to keep something as a proof of the amount of metal that has been kept to that person that is keeping that. So if you want to transact or you want to sell those metals, you just use that card, and I don't know if it was a card or whatever. Then it is going to measure the amount of wealthy or the amount of gold or silver you are having. Then you'll be able to portion that, give a note to that person so that they may be able to collect, or it may be transferred into that person's account. So that is how they were doing the transactions. So they started keeping those metals or into the bulk and into a place, one place, and where there is a steward, there is someone who is called the treasurer who keep those products and who will be able to keep those the minerals. So and he is going to be able to keep them in safety. So they stop the physical exchange whereby this one will come with the tracks of and they'll take it to another one and what. So they'll just use the transaction. They'll just transact by using some of the, I don't know, they made it the documents, or they would do something that is going to be easy to be able to identify, or to be able to identify how much this person has. And it is from there, that's where now the coins started to represent a certain wealthy and the amount uh, of mineral, the amount of gold, the amount of silver that you have in kg, using the metal or the weight, the metal or whatever product that you have. Now, it is from there also where now, if you want to do the exchange, they'll be able to transact within the same people. So they'll be able to shift your God into another person's God, and that will not you will not need to go and get the God. You still keep them from there, and if you want to sell them, you'll be able to transact by using what was given to you. And I don't know how they were doing it, but that is how the banking system started. So they they put that as treasury, as places where they would do, they will measure how much one has got. So, as I said, that is how even the coins were developed, so that the small amount which is portable, which can be taken, can represent how much amount that you are having in the storage of gold or silver or other minerals according to the value that they were giving. And you are able to exchange them within that setup instead of you taking them wherever you want. So if you are exchanging the cow, you just give that note to that person according to the amount of cows or amount of cows that you want to get. So you get that, then that person is going to go and transact, is going to take that piece of thing to the smith or to the treasury, and then they would also deduct your kg or your weight, the weight of your god into that person's gold or silver, that person's account. Yes, now let's look at the types of village banks. Now, when we look at village banks have got different types of what is called village banks. Village bank, it's anything that we do to keep the money in the communities. Anything that is used to keep the money in the community can be likened to a village bank. Some of the examples of the village banks are there is that what is called Box Village Bank. Box Village Bank, it is whereby you put the money into the box. It is the whereby people are you are throwing money into a box or into anything that is made so that you keep the money. Mostly the children does that by using the tins and also using some boxes where they are keeping the money. That is also can be a village bank. Then there is also there are churches and organizations that uses the treasurer as the where to keep the money. So even in the families, there is when there is a function, then you appoint someone who will be keeping that money on behalf of the group. So now that one who is called the treasurer is also likened to a village bank, because that is where you are keeping the money and that person is able to keep that money on behalf of the group of people. So that can also be likened to a village bank. Then there are also some village banks which are now common, that which we call village banks. It is whereby you come together and you are contributing some money so that you may be able to lend each other. So that is also the types of village bank. So I want you to explore and any keeping of money in the community can be the village bank. So one of the assignment that I'm going to give you, apart from the other assignment which we will have for principle and the principles of village banking. So I will give also this as an assignment. I want you to explore the types of village banks or any method that people use in the community to keep the money or to lend out the money, like also the Sherlocks and other way modes. On this topic, governing principles of village banks, I think I'm not going to teach on this one. I will give you as an assignment. So today's assignment is can you state the governing principles that can govern a village bank or that governs the village banks that we know, all those types of village banks. So as a in your groups, in your provinces, you discuss about the principles that you think they govern the village banks. So that is the assignment that we are going to have for today. Thank you so much for having been with us or being with me as we are listening attentively to this lecture. And God bless you. Can we discuss on these matters and also let's go through and look at the village banks and how they can be able to foster development in our day-to-day lives. So below, okay, you can see the assignment.